Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. My name is Samantha Genzer. I'm going to be your show host for you today. We have a very exciting episode for you guys. We're going to be covering the Women's Softball World Series, the NWSL draft picks and how they're doing now, Olympic updates with Gabby Douglas and the qualified soccer teams, those competing in the U.S. Women's Open today, and make sure you stay till the end to hear about the USATF Masters 1 Mile Championships. Before we begin, I wanted to ask you guys to like and follow the show, and to become a part of our show to tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. Also, we do get a lot of questions and comments from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your questions get read on the air, I ask that you use the link gsmcpodcast.net. This puts your questions at the top of the list so that I see them, and of course, it really helps the show. Once again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net. Okay, now let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy today's content. So we're going to be starting today's episode by talking about today's World Series games. The first and second game have already passed, and we're going to get started talking about how those games went. Afterwards, we're going to talk about some predictions for the third and fourth game. The third game is currently going on right now, or at least it should be. There were some weather delays for the first game, so everything got kind of pushed back. So obviously I don't have the scores for the third game yet, so we are going to be doing predictions on that too. Okay, let's get started with game one. Alabama and UCLA went head-to-head, and UCLA came out on top. Not much of a shocker there. The score was tied at 0-0 during the first and second inning. In the third inning, UCLA got a point with Janelle Miono scoring, and then the fifth inning, Kenny Pate scored for Alabama. During the sixth inning, the game went really interesting. At the end of the inning, the score read, I just lost my voice. The score read 1-4 with UCLA taking the lead. Maya Brady, Jordan Woolery, and Lauren Hatch all made a run for the team. Woolery got a home run. UCLA really dominated batting. They did get a few walks, which helped them end up scoring in some, but their score was mainly due to their batting. Defensively, they were strong, especially with pitching. Alabama just struggled offensively with batting. They did have more strikeouts, which definitely put them at a disadvantage for offense. Regardless, it was a really good game on both ends. I was very much rooting for Alabama because they kind of had a full-on big moment for them when they knocked Tennessee out of the World Series. So I was rooting for them as the underdogs, but I am not shocked that UCLA ended up coming on top just because they've done better all season, basically. It wasn't too much of a shock, but it does kind of stink that, the underdogs are out. Second game, it was Duke against the University of Oklahoma. Duke was at number 10 and Oklahoma was at number 2. So I feel like we all kind of expected who was going to win this game, especially because we all know University of Oklahoma is so good at softball. They won the last 3 championships. They're going to knock Duke out of there. This game was honestly a nightmare for Duke. Oklahoma absolutely crushed Duke at the final score of 1-9. Duke scored in the second inning, but they were unable to maintain that lead. And then the third inning, Oklahoma got 4 runs, putting them way ahead. And then in the following inning, Oklahoma scored another 3 runs. By the last inning, it was very clear that Oklahoma was going to take this victory, and they scored another 2 runs. It was still a rough loss for Duke, but they still played decently as a team. Francesca Frelick scored the point for Duke, and Jada Coleman, Tyre Jennings, Maya Bland, Kenzie Hansen, Alyssa Brito, Alina Torres, Riley Boone, and Sydney Sanders all scored the 9 points for Oklahoma. Jada Coleman got 2 runs. I don't know. This game was interesting because I felt like there was kind of more mental aspects to it. The game, the UCLA v. Why am I forgetting? The UCLA v. Alabama game. That one felt more of just a skill base, what team is better. Obviously, we know which team is better here, Oklahoma and Duke. Oklahoma is better, is the better team. But I also felt like as soon as Oklahoma got that 1 point on the board, they just dominated from there. They just kind of got in Duke's head, it felt like, because Duke just kind of fell back on their feet afterwards a bit. Anyway, we're going to talk about Game 3 and 4. Game 3, like I said, is still going on. So we're going to talk about some predictions before I look at the current score and such. And then game 4 will take place at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, so 30 minutes after we finish today's episode. Recommend you guys go watch that. But I will say, because of the weather delays, don't count me that it is going on at 9:30 p.m. It might have changed. I don't know. So don't count me on that. Okay, game 3 is number 8. Stanford v. number 1 UT Austin. This is probably not going to come as a shocker, but I'm predicting that UT Austin is going to win this game. They have played the most games against the WCWS field, and honestly, having that experience helps the team feel more comfortable playing where they're at. I think the righty trio of Tegan, Kevon, Mac Morgan, and Siloli Gutierrez is diverse and has their own strengths in some ways. Kevon has the strikeout picture, Morgan has the highest velocity, and Gutierrez offers the most control. When both Gutierrez and Kevon struggled against A&M in the Super Regionals, Morgan put out fires in the first 2 games and won the third. So they have that ability to back each other up. Also, I can't forget to mention that UT Austin has the best batting average in the country. Only Florida runs the bases better, and Texas beats all the teams with depth. 9 players have come to bat at least 100 times in 2024, and 8 of them boast an OPS over 1,000. 5 of the 9 regulars have hit at least 8 home runs. 8 have driven in at least 30 runs, and all 9 have scored at least 34 runs. So there's no wink link there. Even in an elite lineup, first baseman Reese Outwood stands out. Among Power Conference hitters, the Big 12 Player of the Year is first nationally in total bases, RBIs, home runs, and strikeout percentage. Now, if we look specifically at Stanford, pitching is everything for them because they don't really have enough offense, and I have a confident feeling that no matter what, UT Austin would dominate them in offense. In 15 losses this season, they scored either 0 or 1 run 9 times. Taryn Kern is an absolute beast as a leadoff hitter. She averages 4.8 pitches per plate appearance, while most players average under 4. She never changes a pitch, and when she makes contacts, it's pretty violent. She's by far the team leader in both on-base percentage and slugging percentage. Stanford has a couple of all-or-nothing hitters behind her. Lefty first baseman Ava Gall and righty catcher Alec Hinashiro have combined for 21 home runs and 78 RBIs. That combo can work pretty well, but the bottom of the order doesn't always offer much, to be honest. Still, I'm more confident that with Texas's offense and each of their strong players, they have more of a chance to beat Stanford. Also, when just looking at their current standings and record this season, and I know that is the most boring and basic way to make a prediction, they do look a lot stronger as a team and do seem like they would come out on top. Now to game 4. Game 4 is number 5 Oklahoma State v. number 4 Florida State University. University of Florida. Oh my gosh. Florida State got knocked out a little while ago. I feel like, okay, so in ESPN or most sports networks, they just write Florida and like Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma as Oklahoma. And I don't know why, but that always confuses me because I'm always like Oklahoma State or Oklahoma University. Like, I don't know. But I don't know. That's just me. That's just me being me. Okay, so Oklahoma State v. University of Florida, so the Gators. So this is a game that I'm looking forward to the most because I am not totally 100% confident in predicting which team would win. OSU does most of its damage in one specific way, by swinging for the fences. They are 5th nationally in home run rate and 5th in isolated power. They swing at only 42.3% of pitches, and they look for the right pitch to mash. And when they do, they mash it for sure. They're strong offensively when they want to be and when they have the opportunities to be. While catcher Caroline Wang leads the team with 17 home runs, 51 RBIs, and a .376 batting average, 4 others have hit at least 10 dingers. That's over half the lineup with serious power. Kilfoyle, a second-year Alabama transfer, is 26-3 for the season. She and secondary pitchers Ivy Rosenberry and Kyra Arock are all righties, and they all throw 63 to 68% of their strikes on the outside half of the plate. They can nibble a bit too much at times, but you don't ever get anything. But you don't just like always get everything good to hit, if that makes sense. Like, you're not always gonna get a perfect pitch, you know. Kilfoyle was up and down to start the year. She was mostly awesome, but got knocked around by Georgia, Wichita State, and UCF. But since March 28th, when she shut out Texas, she has been perhaps the best pitcher in the country, or at least very close to Najari Kennedy. I don't want to say she's the best pitcher because, you know, Kennedy is very much up there. On the other side, the University of Florida's run totals are awfully close to future conference mates Texas and Oklahoma, despite playing in the SEC, which qualified every team for the NCAAs and occupied 8 of the 16 national seeds. Florida allows 2.9 runs per game, and they've given up 40 home runs. Freshman Keegan Rothrock has started 40 of 64 games this season, and she's got power and plenty of strikeout capability. But I feel like they're going to hit the ball even harder. They're 4th in runs per game, 3rd in on-base percentage, and 4th in isolated power. They're right there with Texas and Oklahoma. Reagan Walsh leads the team with 17 home runs, and Wallace has 14 home runs and 35 stolen bases, which is actually the 3rd in the most country, which is really impressive. That is a ridiculous combination, having both of them. They have the ability to exhaust OSU with all the ways they can generate offense, and that is what would be their biggest advantage in this game. Okay, so to wrap this up, after laying this all out, I am predicting that Florida will win. The University of Florida appears slightly more balanced between the pitching and offense. Their ability to score runs consistently and their offensive versatility might give them an edge over Oklahoma State's power-heavy strategy. Also, Florida's performance in the competitive SEC, which has all teams in the NCAA tournament, kind of suggests they're well-tested against strong teams, and my prediction would have to lean towards the University of Florida winning this game, particularly if they can handle OSU's power hitters and exploit any over-resilience on home runs by OSU. However, it is likely going to be a very close game, given both teams' capabilities. I don't think there's going to be a full-on, for sure this is the winner. I think it's going to be super close. Now, we are going, someone just said they love my shop. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And now we're going to move on to our next segment where we talk about the NWSL draft picks from the beginning of the year and how those players are currently doing in the league. I absolutely love talking about soccer, so I'm very excited for this. Before we get into that, we are going to be taking a short break, so I will see you guys very soon.